IELTS 1, recorded and published by Ross IELTS Academy. This recording is a copyright. CD 1, Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you will hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Write all of your answers on the test pages. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a customer and a travel agent over the phone. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Good morning, eDream Travel Agency. How can I help you, sir?
Oh, hello. I'm interested in the tours in Europe that you offer.
Yes, we operate several tours in different European countries. Where in particular did you want to go?
Well, I like spending my vacation somewhere close to the sea with lovely sun and nice food. I think Canary Islands in Spain is a good one for me. Don't you think so?
Oh, that's one of my favorites too.
As you heard, the customer's destination is the Canary Islands, so the words Canary Islands have been written at the top of the form. Now, we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning, eDream Travel Agency. How can I help you, sir?
Oh, hello. I'm interested in the tours in Europe that you offer.
Yes, we operate several tours in different European countries. Where in particular did you want to go?
Well, I like spending my vacation somewhere close to the sea with lovely sun and nice food. I think Canary Islands in Spain is a good one for me. Don't you think so?
Oh, that's one of my favorites too.
All right, and how long does it last?
It's 7 days that includes welcoming at the airport and hotel. Oh, breakfast and lunch aren't included.
Oh, I love hotels breakfast. But that's okay. How much does it cost?
It used to be $450, but now we have a special offer, and it's $315 per person.
I think it's a fair price. My son is coming with me. Would the fee be the same as mine?
How old is he?
He just turned 13. 3 days ago was his birthday.
Congratulations then. The price for kids under 13 is $285. Since your son is 13, the price is the same, $315. But as a birthday gift you can pay $280.
What about the internet? I need to stay online not because of my work, it's all about calling my parents. They are old, and I have to keep in touch with them.
You'll have a 24-hour connection, however, you have to pay for it. It's quite affordable.
That's good news.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now, listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
So, what should I do to book the tour?
Before going through the payment process, I need to ask for some information. What's your full name?
My name is David Williams.
Would you please spell your last name for me?
Sure, Williams.
Great. And what's your phone number?
2267 98 34 54.
Thank you. Would you please tell me how you heard about us?
One of my friends told me about you. But I found your number from Today newspaper.
Interesting. How would you like to pay? Visa, debit?
I have lost my credit card, so I'll go with debit.
Okay. I'll send you a link and you have to click on it and make the payment. Once you're done with it, I'll send you the ticket and all the information you need.
Great. Thanks a lot. Just a quick question. When does the tour start?
The departure is August 6th, and you'll be back on August 13th.
Okay. Now I know when I have to take some days off at work. Thanks again.
No problem. Enjoy your vacations.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 2. Section 2. You will hear the director of a library talking to a group of students who are visiting the library. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. As you listen to the first part of the talk, answer questions 11 to 15.
Okay guys, so here we are at the main entrance of the library. My name is Rose, and I'd like to tell you a bit about different sections of the library. I suppose you all have a map in front of you. Well, as you see, the printing service is just on your right as you go in. And crossing this, the first room above that has an excellent collection of atlases and is also a place where people can read or study peacefully. Opposite the printing services on the left, there is a room where we have up-to-date periodicals such as newspapers and magazines. This room also has public computers in case you want to do some research. If you carry straight on, you'll arrive into a large room which is the staff space. Crossing this area next to the reading room, you'll find the meeting room. And before entering that, next to the science shelves, you can see the local tourist attractions. We have planned to add a reference desk there very soon. Oh, I forgot to say that the door next to the fiction shelves is the children's library, which has a good collection of stories and picture books. Then there's a large room to the right of the library area next to the atlases where you can find amazing books in huge sizes, which are mainly about local history. Okay, this is it. Now you can use the map and look around the library.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
When the students come into the library, we ask them to take care of their backpacks while going around the library. Unfortunately, recently we have had a few things gone missing, so I hope this won't happen again. We do provide school students with handouts with questions and quizzes on them. There is so much that students can do here, and it's entertaining for them to have something to do. Remember, we give you whatever you need to take notes, so please don't use your own materials. There is no problem with taking photos here. However, one of the staff will take a photo of us at the end of the day too. You're not supposed to bring anything to eat inside the library, but you can have water in safe bottles. Once the tour is over, you will also have things to do, like joining our drawing competitions, which will be held in the building on the other side of the library. In addition to painting, you can play some musical instruments if you know how to play one. The winner will have access to an amazing collection of DVDs with a range of fiction histories. Those DVDs aren't only about reading books. They include games too. This takes you back in history watching amazing monuments while playing. I think that's it. Okay then, have fun and see you around.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 3. Section 3. You will hear a conversation between two students talking about their history presentation next week. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. As you listen to the first part of the conversation, answer questions 21 to 26.
Hey Monica. How is it going?
Not much. Studying, getting ready for the presentation.
Right. Do you know how long the presentation should be?
Professor Geller said 4 per hour.
Well, it means 15 minutes.
No, he said 12 minutes per presentation and 3 minutes for the questions.
Will this one be assessed?
No, because it's not our compulsory subject.
Great.
Well, do you know what we are going to point out?
So, we can give some background information. Is that okay?
Oh, no, I'm afraid not. We would run out of time.
Well, we maybe should provide some information about the poverty line and the natural resources of Great Britain.
As I remember, the professor said we shouldn't go into details. I think the political system is one thing that we shouldn't miss.
Of course, and then the importance of their sailing skills.
I'm not sure. That would cross with other students' project.
Okay, we can check it, and if it doesn't, we will go ahead with that.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
Now, we should focus on how to present the paper. The professor asked us to prepare a PowerPoint with relevant images and videos.
So, we would need a big screen.
Don't worry, I'll get that from the library. We should book it in advance.
Don't forget about a map to show all the important areas that they conquered.
I saw a very large one in the reading room. Maybe we could borrow that.
They normally don't let students take it away because that belongs to them. But maybe 15 minutes wouldn't be a problem. I'll get it.
Oh, my laptop has a problem and it doesn't connect to the projector or any external screen.
Don't worry, we will get one from the multimedia office.
Wonderful! So the last thing is getting some photocopies of our papers to give them to the students, for which I can use the printing services office.
I see. So, everything is clear now. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, see you on Tuesday.
Have good day.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4. Section 4. You will hear a lecture about earthquakes. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Hello everyone, thanks for joining this event about earthquakes. Maybe most of you already know what an earthquake is. However, I will give a brief explanation about this geological phenomenon for those that don't know what it is exactly. An earthquake is what happens when two blocks of the earth suddenly slip past one another. The surface where they slip is called the fault or fault plane. The location below the Earth's surface where the earthquake starts is called the hypocenter, and the location directly above it on the surface of the Earth is called the epicenter. Sometimes an earthquake has foreshocks. These are smaller earthquakes that happen in the same place as the larger earthquake that follows. Scientists can't tell that an earthquake is a foreshock until the larger earthquake happens. The largest, or main earthquake, let's say, is called the main shock. Main shocks always have aftershocks that follow. These are smaller earthquakes that occur afterwards in the same place as the main shock. Depending on the size of the main shock, aftershocks can continue for weeks, months, and even years after the main shock. Now that you know what an earthquake is, let's see what causes earthquakes. The Earth has 4 major layers: the inner core, outer core, mantle, and crust. The crust and the top of the mantle make up a thin skin on the surface of our planet. But this thin skin is not all in one piece. It is made up of many pieces like a puzzle covering the surface of the Earth. Not only that, but these puzzle pieces keep moving around slowly, sliding past one another and bumping into each other. We call these puzzle pieces tectonic plates, and the edges of the plates are called the plate boundaries. The plate boundaries are made up of many faults, and most of the earthquakes around the world occur on these faults. Since the edges of the plates are rough, they get stuck while the rest of the plate keeps moving. Finally, when the plate has moved far enough, the edges unstick on one of the faults, and there is an earthquake. However, it comes to mind why the earth shakes when there is an earthquake. While the edges of faults are stuck together and the rest of the block is moving, the energy that would normally cause the blocks to slide past one another is being stored up. When the force of the moving blocks finally overcomes the friction of the jagged edges of the fault and it unsticks, all that stored up energy is released. The energy radiates outward from the fault in all directions in the form of seismic waves, like ripples on a pond. The seismic waves shake the earth as they move through it, and when the waves reach the earth's surface, they shake the ground and anything on it, like our houses and us. Maybe now you'll be asking how the scientists record an earthquake. Earthquakes are recorded by instruments called seismographs. The recording they make is called a seismogram. The seismograph has a base that sets firmly in the ground and a heavy weight that hangs free. When an earthquake causes the ground to shake, the base of the seismograph shakes too, but the hanging weight does not. Instead, the spring or string that it's hanging from absorbs all the movement. The difference in position between the shaking part of the seismograph and the motionless part is what is recorded. So, this was a brief introduction about earthquakes. Feel free to ask any questions that you might have before going into details. That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.